Participants. Cool. Okay, guys. When you are ready, everyone's got the ball and the weights. We're going to start on our backs today with our squishy ball between our inner thighs. Weights by your side. All right, and then just slide right on down. Find your neutral. So remember, when you're lying on your back, you're neutral. Let's think about starting from our head. We'll work our way down to our feet. So just let your head be heavy. You're looking straight up to the ceiling. Your collarbones are wide in front of your body. Your shoulder blades are flat on the mat. Your ribs are hugging around your center, so you're not just kind of letting them splay open. Think of your obliques, kind of hugging those ribs tight. Think about that little space behind your lumbar spine. So just that small space. You're not arching, but just that little space. Your thigh bones are nice and heavy into your hip sockets, and then your feet are just about hip distance apart with your heels. You should be able to touch your heels with your fingertips. All right, so from there, we're just going to do a couple of hip rolls and get our spine moving a bit. So now pull your belly button into your spine, squish that space behind your low back, and then lift your hips right up to the ceiling. Hold when you get up there nice and high, take a breath, and then slowly roll back down. So again, melting. That's fine. Back down. One vertebrae at a time touches. You'll come back to neutral. Hold when you're there, so you've got your space behind your low back again, and then roll your pelvis back. Squish that little space. Press through your heels. Give your inner thighs a little bit of squeeze as you lift this time, and then again roll back down. Nice and controlled all the way till you're back down and in neutral. Two more like that. So belly button in, squish that space, press through your heels, squeeze your inner thighs gently as you lift. Roll all the way down. And then go one more like this. So belly button in, press through those heels, lift your hips all the way up, and then we'll stay this time. So up at the top here, think about that little space behind your lumbar spine. So you're not rocked back this way, you're still neutral, right? Ribs are still tight around your center. From here, think about your knees reaching away from the top of your head, and then just squeeze your inner thighs nice and tight around the ball, and then little release. So as you squeeze your inner thighs, think about the tops of your inner thighs squeezing, feel your core connect a little bit, and then slow little release. So do that again, little squeeze in, have a pause, and little release. Little squeeze in, have a pause, and little release. Go for 3 more. Think about those uppermost inner thighs. Try not to squeeze your glutes together. And then one more, hold that squeeze. Now from here, you're gonna grab your weights, reach your arms up to the ceiling, and stay. All right, so shoulder blades still flat against the mat. From here, just reach your arms overhead, and then press them back up to the ceiling. And then open wide to the side, and then press them back up to the ceiling. So constant pressure through your heels, a gentle little squeeze with your inner thighs as you're keeping those hips lifted, and then arms out and up. Now, next time you reach your arms overhead, pause when you're back there. Feel that your ribs are still tight around your center, and then from there, drop your hips down. So almost touch the mat, and then press your arms up, press your hips up. Then we'll do the same thing out to the side. So arms out to the side, hips can come down low, and then press through those heels, lift your hips back up. So inhale back, arms overhead, exhale up, and inhale wide with those arms, exhale press. So really think control, you're reaching, your body is staying still, other than moving up and down, but you're staying with those ribs tight around your center, nice neutral pelvis. Go one more each way. Don't forget about those inner thighs. Give them that extra squeeze as you press. And then one more wide. Exhale, press all the way up to the top. And then let's roll back down. So one vertebra at a time comes down to the mat. Come to neutral. And then you can lower your arms down by your sides. Just drop those weights. All right, now from here, let's lift our heels just a little bit off the mat. So you're light on your toes. You're not just shifting your weight to your toes. Think of being a little bit light on your toes. Now feel that you're still neutral, so you still have your little space behind that low back. Your ribs are still tight around your center. From here, pop your hands behind your head. When you do that, your ribs might lift again, keep them nice and tight, and then nod your chin gently and heel up to flexion. So when you're up in flexion, you're looking towards the ball, not the ceiling. So really feel this curl forward. Think about your ribs, your lowest couple of ribs, sliding as close down towards the tops of your hip bones as you can. So kind of crunching in those waistlines at the front of your body. Now keep everything as it is. Your pelvis stays neutral, your core stays engaged. You're just lengthening back. So kind of lengthen the space between your ribs and your hips. Take a breath. And then do that again. So you're going to nod your chin gently. Come up to flexion, holding there. Slow and controlled melt. Back. You can let your head touch for a couple more. We're going to come all the way up and down. Nod your chin. Curl forward. No movement in your hips. Still have your little space behind your lumbar spine. Slowly come back. One more like this. Nod your chin. Use that breath, looking towards that squishy ball. So now from here, let's come up one extra little inch. Hold, and just stay here. You're looking towards your ball. Your glutes are relaxed. You have little space behind your low back. Your ribs are as close towards your hips as they can be. And your head is heavy in your hands. So don't just leave all the pressure into your neck. Let your head be heavy in those hands. Now from here, you're going to come back almost down. So don't quite touch. And then as you come up, squeeze your inner thighs nice and tight. So you can release your inner thighs slightly as you come back to the ceiling. Don't quite let your head touch. Curl up. Inhaling back. This is work, this is work, this is work. Exhale up. This is still work. It's not that you're flopping back and forward, right? That's not what we want to do. We want to keep working the whole way. 3 more like this. Inhale back, don't get those inner thighs. Squeeze them as you come up. 2. And squeeze. Abs deepen. 1 more. Exhale. Hold at the top. Slowly melt all the way down the upper body. Come down. Bring your hands down by your side. Lower those feet and take a breath. All right. Now from here, you're going to put the ball underneath your right foot. Feet about hip distance apart so you can still touch your heels with your fingertips. Nice even waistline. So now we're doing something different with each side of our, with each leg, right? So the challenge is going to be to keep your body still. So definitely decrease your range of movement if you feel your body is shifting. You want to focus on keeping your body nice and steady from right to left, all right? So start with your hands by your side. I'll give you a couple of options, but have your palms facing up. Think about having another ball between your inner thighs. So they're going to stay kind of pulling towards each other. Don't let them flop open. You're going to press through your left heel and your left big toe and lift your hips straight up. So hold when you're up here, you may feel that your legs want to flop open. Think about that ball you're squeezing between your inner thighs. Now from here, if you want, you can grab your weights, you can reach your arms up to the ceiling. You can also keep your arms down. Again, think about whether your hips are staying steady. If they're not, or if they're shifting from right to left, I would keep your arms down and focus on stability. But whatever feels good for you. All right, so I'll show you this option. From here, all I want you to do is bring your hips down, almost touch the mat, and then press straight back. So you're not rolling down, think of your hips and your ribs coming down together. And press up, so arms can be up, arms can be down. If your arms are up, let's try and reach them overhead. And then press back up, so arms reach overhead as your hips lower for 5. Press through that left heel. Think about that left inner thigh squeezing towards your midline. Exhale and up, ribs are staying tight around your center. 3 more here. Nice and slow, if you've already done those. 5. Take it slow. Last 2. You ready? 1 more. Inhale down. Exhale, press right up to the ceiling and then steady. So keep pressure into your left heel. Keep your left inner thigh squeezing towards your midline. Don't change anything in your hips. Just reach your right leg out. It doesn't need to go all the way out. Kind of roll the ball away and then pull it back in. So hips stay lifted. Reach out and pull in. Now can you reach just your right arm with your right leg? Reach and then pull back in. And then let's alternate left arm, right leg, so alternating just arms. And back in. Keep that left heel pressing into the mat. Left glute is holding you up there. Lots of core keeping you steady. Reach. And in. You're ready? One more each way. Reach. Right arm, right leg. Also trying to keep your arms down. And left and right. Back in. Holding slowly. Let's roll all the way out. Come to neutral. Lower those arms and take a breath. You can turn your mat the other way if you want to. If you feel like you have to keep looking up, don't worry. You can totally turn your mat. No big deal. All right. Feel that left glute. Now we're going to pop the ball under our left foot. We'll get our right glute working a little bit. So remember, stability is the most important thing. So it doesn't matter if your hips, it doesn't matter how high your hips are. It doesn't matter if you have your arms up. It's about keeping your pelvis even from right to left. Keeping your weight as even as you can in your shoulders as well. All right, so hands by your side to start. Inner thighs squeezing towards your midline. Right heel is within fingertip range, and then press to that right heel, lift straight up. So hips stay nice and level. Add your weights if you want. Grab those weights, reach your arms up. Okay, so from here, we're just gonna drop our hips together. Doesn't matter if you come down 1 inch or 6, and then press straight back up. So you can add the arms if you want. You can reach your arms overhead as your hips drop and press back up. So remember, your body is staying neutral. You're taking your time as you're moving. Your ribs are staying tight around your center. They come down with your hips. That right inner thigh is still a focus, right? 4 more, slow and controlled. Exhale, press through that right heel, right big toe. 3, slow and controlled. Exhale. Last 2. Control and press. 1 more like this. Inhale down. Exhale, press right up. And then stay. So feel that your hips are still lifted. Even weight on your shoulders. Right inner thigh still squeezing to your midline. Now roll the ball away. Reach your left leg out. And then pull it back in. So as you reach your left leg, reach your left arm. And then come back in. And then as you reach your left leg, reach your right arm. So alternating arms. Constant pressure through your right heel so those glutes stay lifted. Reach and in. They're not lowering, or your hips aren't lowering or lifting. They're staying nice and lifted in one place. Doesn't matter how high. And in, go 1 more. Right arm, left leg, all the way back in, and then roll back to the mat. Come down to neutral and take a breath. Bring those weights down by your side. Hug your knees into your chest. Have a little roll around there. 1 way and the other. Right. And then grab your ball. You're going to put it underneath your tailbone. So feet about hip distance apart. Back of your rib cage is heavy. So in this position, it's really, really easy to let your ribs lift like this and kind of let your back arch. We really want to focus more than anything on keeping our ribs tight around our center and keeping the back of our rib cage heavy. So you don't want to just do this. You can see what I did there. I tucked, so my pelvis is not neutral anymore. We got to stay neutral, but keep our ribs heavy. Got it? It's hard to see, I know. Okay, and then the next thing that's really important is keeping our shoulder blades flat on the mat. So we're going to use our weights. Let's actually just start there. So grab your weights, reach your arms up to the ceiling and stay. When you reach your arms up to the ceiling, your shoulder blades want to lift off the mat and your collarbones kind of want to crunch it. Think about your shoulder blades being heavy on the mat. So really keep them wide and heavy. That provides extra stability because you have more surface area touching down, right? So that's what we want to try and keep. Now lift up your heels so you're just on your toes. Good. Take a big breath. Is your rib cage still nice and heavy? Is your pelvis still neutral? Hopefully, right? Now hop your right leg up to tabletop and stay. So your left toes are going to stay light. From here, we're going to reach our right arm overhead and our right leg out in front of us. So think length as you reach and then pull back in. So stay as light as you can on those left toes. Just reach nice and long line and then pull right back in. So no movement through your spine as you reach, no movement as you pull in. One more, let's reach. Pull back in, stay. Lower your right toes. Take a breath. Weights even on your shoulders, right? Pop your left knee up, left leg up, sorry. Ribs are still heavy. Reach your left leg in front, left arm overhead, and then pull everything back in. Do that again, reaching away. And in, keep that pelvis nice and neutral. You've got 4. And in, go for 3. And in, go for 2. Keep those ribs nice and heavy. Even weight in those hips. Last one, reaching. Come back in, stay. Lower those left toes back down. Take a breath. Shoulder blades still flat on the mat. Now from here, pop your right leg all the way up to take a top, or back up to take a top, sorry. And then your left leg is gonna come up as well. So if you feel really unsteady, you're welcome to bring your elbows down like this and just have your forearms off the mat. Kind of forget about the arms. If not, keep those arms up. Now from here, we're gonna reach our right leg out in front of us. Right arm goes overhead again, and then pull back in. And then alternate right over to the other side, left and left. Take a breath, and then slow come in. Let's do that again. Right and right, abs deepen as you reach. And in, doesn't matter how low your leg goes, doesn't matter how low your arm goes. Just feel that reach. And in. Exhale, reach. Don't quite let your weight touch the mat, because that's a great right. And left and left. Reach. Back in and then stay. So your arms are reaching up, your legs are in tabletop. From here, open your knees to a diamond. Hold that diamond and then bring it back together. So as you open into the diamond, can you open your arms? And then come right back in. If anyone is feeling their low back, think about pulling your belly button a little bit deeper to your spine. Think about the back of your rib cage getting a little bit heavier. If you still feel your low back, bring your knees closer to your chest. Last 2 like this, open out and in. Last one, open out. Come back in and then stay with your arms, but open your legs back to the diamond. So now from here, you're gonna kick your right leg out on a diagonal. So it opens out to the right side slightly and then bring it back to center. Do the same thing with your left, reaching it out on a diagonal. And then come right back in. Keep those arm bones nice and heavy in your shoulder sockets. Right and in and left. Back in. Good job, you guys. Right again. Abs deepen as you reach. Coming in. Try to keep those knees out where your hips are. Don't bring them in too close unless you feel your back. Last one right. Reach. And in. Last one left. Pull back and bring those thighs together. Lower your right foot all the way down. Lower your left foot, lower those weights. Press into your heels, lift those hips up. Take a breath up at the top there and then roll all the way down. Come back to neutral. And then stay. Awesome. So keep your pelvis, keep your body neutral, but reach your legs straight out in front of you. So toes reaching away from the top of your head, feet are about a distance apart. We're gonna do full roll-ups here. These can be sort of a work in progress for some people, so don't worry if you can't roll all the way up. If you need to hold onto your thighs and kind of help yourself, that's totally fine. I'm gonna give you a few different add-ons, just do what feels good for you. All right, so arms reach up, shoulder blades flat against the mat. We're gonna start with our arms just reaching overhead, not letting our ribs lift, right? So feel how your ribs are still hugging around your center with your arms overhead. They're not resting overhead, right? They're just reaching, fingertips are reaching from toes. Now bring your arms back up to the ceiling, tuck your chin in, and then start rolling up. You're gonna reach out to your toes. You're gonna stack up nice and tall, back to neutral, and then roll back. So think about your pelvis rolling back first. Keep rolling one vertebra at a time, all the way down. And then reach those arms back overhead. Do another one like that, nodding, curl, totally fine to grab onto your legs to come on up, out, stack up tall, and then come back again. So rolling, reach your toes the opposite way as you come back. Reach those arms back. Now let's add a leg to this. So we'll bring our right leg up to tabletop as we come up, tuck your chin. Right leg comes up, then you come just to a half roll back. So feel you're in a scoop, your weight is even in your hips, and then slowly roll back. Keeping even weight in your hips. As your mid-back touches down, your right leg can reach. Arms overhead. Same thing left. So think about as your mid-back lifts, your left leg will lift, your right leg is still reaching, stay in that little scoop, and then melt back. So keeping even weight in your hips, roll all the way. Left leg reaches, arms back overhead, ribs still tight around your center. Do one more right like this. So we're going to stay out there. So if you're had both legs down, see if you can lift up your right leg here. Even weight in your hips, right? And you're going to open your right arm to the side, keep your weight even in your hips, and then come back to center. Same arm again, you're going to reach it just wide to this side, and then pull back in. You'll reach that right leg with your right arm reach. And exhale, use that breath for 4. And in that little scoop, left leg stays reaching 3. And in last 2. And back 1 more, exhale, reach. Bring it back in and then roll all the way down. So even weight as you roll your mid-back touches, then your right leg reaches, arms go overhead. Take a little, same thing, left. Arms up, nod your chin. Left knee comes up. Take a breath there, so keeping that little scoop, and then melt right back. Nice and slow and control. Reach that left knee all the way. Reach those arms. Let's do that again. Nod. Left knee up. Keep your right hip heavy. From here, just open your left arm. And doesn't matter how wide you open your arm, you want to be able to keep your body from twisting, right? And at the leg, if you want, reaching and feel those abs deepening. Belly button to spine, and in for 4. And in, keep that little scoop, abs deepen. And in last 2. If you feel your back, don't scoop back as far. You can just do a little one too. Out. And then roll all the way down, mid-back touches, left leg reaches, arms all the way back overhead. And take a little stretch out there. Good job, guys. Come on to your left side. Left side. So you can, if you feel like you want to be seeing me, you can angle your mats or whatever, or you can look around like trees. Okay, we're going to start with our legs bent. So heels underneath your bum. In this position, we still want to be neutral. So remember our little space behind our low back, our ribs are still tight around our center. Same thing, just on our sides, right? So feel that you're not tucking under here, but that nice little space behind your lumbar spine like you would if you were on your back, right? Heels underneath your bum, and then your head kind of reaching away from your toes. So you're in a nice long line there. Lift your right leg up to about as high as you can go, keeping your hips stacked. And then keep your heels together, heels together. Okay, so stay when you're up at the top there, take a nice breath. See if you can lift 1 more inch, hold up that extra inch, and then come down just an inch. So little inch up, and then little inch down. So try and keep your eyes looking straight, unless you need to look at me, but try to keep your eyes looking straight ahead so your neck stays nice and long. Each time you lift your leg, think about your glute for sure. That's your right glute moving your leg, but also think about your core. Think about those abs deepening as you lift. Keep them working as you lower. Exhale, abs, and inhale down. So just little pulses to start. Thinking about how that glute does not stop working. You're gonna go 4 more. Little squeeze up, if you're working, little squeeze down, still working. 3. And down, you've got to go for 2. And down, and then go 1 more, lift up to the top and stay. Now you're gonna medially rotate. So your knee comes down, your foot comes up, and then come back to that lateral rotation. So imagine you've got a ball sort of between your legs, your knee goes up and over the ball, and then your heel goes up and over the ball. Medial rotation, and then lateral rotation. So as you're doing this, your hips are staying totally still. So I definitely feel my glute, but I also feel a ton of core because I'm keeping my pelvis still. I'm keeping my pelvis so still. Do you guys feel that? Because you could just be doing your glute, right? Just using your glute, you could not be, and then you would let your pelvis move around, right? You're gonna feel way more glute and then abs if you keep that core engaged. So 2 more, in and out, and then 1 more, in and out, and then reach your right leg straight underneath you. So now you're really reaching right toes from the top of your head. Keep those hips nice and stacked. You're gonna draw a rainbow, toes down to the front edge of your mat, and then toes down to the back edge of your mat. Now don't touch the mat at any point because that's a break, right? Up and down, and then up and down. So the wider your rainbow goes, the bigger the challenge for your core because you're kind of throwing yourself off balance, right? So think about that. It doesn't matter how wide it is. You want to keep your pelvis still. And just feel kind of where you're moving your leg from. Are you moving your foot or are you moving your thigh? Think about your thigh bone lifting and lowering. That's your femur up and down. 2 more each way, up and down. Up and down. Last one, squeeze back and then stay like straight underneath you. Let's go the opposite way. So now go up to the front edge of your mat, little pause, and then up to the back edge of your mat. Abs still working to keep your pelvis still. You go up and up. Up, little squeeze and up. Exhale, using that breath as you lift and go for 4. Up, little pause, and back, little pause. No swinging, you're lifting up and up. Last 2. Up and up. And last 1, up and up. And then bend that leg all the way in, right underneath you. Good job, guys. Now grab your squishy ball. You're gonna put it underneath your right knee. You can let your right foot rest on the mat. Now we're gonna get into this left inner thigh a little bit. So left toes reaching away from the top of your head. Lift your left leg up. So again, it's your thigh you're moving. So think of your left femur lifting nice and high. Sorry, the ball is on the mat. And then your left leg is straight under. Yeah, you got it. Okay. If you want a little extra glute, you can keep your right foot lifted. That makes your glute work a little harder. But you don't have to. It's also harder to stabilize, so a little bit of extra core, always nice, whatever you want to do though. Now reach through your left toe, squeeze that leg up as high as you can and then stay. Now go 1 more inch. So just like we did with the glute, 1 extra inch up, 1 inch down. You're working as you lift, you're working as you lower, right? Don't just let that leg flop down. Up and lower. Keep those eyes looking right in front of you so your neck is nice and long. Go 4, squeeze, control. Squeeze, control. Last 2. Last one, stay at the top. Now little circles. Try and stay nice and high as you circle. Now if you feel really unsteady, totally fine to bring that right leg down, doesn't matter. Little circle, very good, you guys. Go 4 more. Circle for 3, get to that high point, 2. Last 1, go the other way, staying high. Think about the top of that inner thigh, lots of abs keeping you steady. Go 4 and 3. Last 2, last 1, and then lower all the way down. Okay. Pop that ball off to the side, reach both legs straight out underneath you now. All right. So knees are both pointing straight ahead, waistlines are both long, left ribs are a little bit lifted, eyes are looking straight ahead. Reach your toes across the room and then lift your legs just a couple of inches. Hold when you're lifted there. So feel that it's your left inner thigh that is holding most of the weight of your right leg. So it's like your right leg is just dead heavy weight. Now slowly lower those legs just to a hover and then squeeze back up. So the higher you lift your legs, the more your left ribs want to press down. Try not to let your left ribs press down. Keep your body nice and neutral as your legs lift and as they lower. Now it's hard to stay stable here, right? So try not to put all your weight into your right hand. Rely on those abs. You guys are all strong enough to find your stability from your core, right? So think about that belly button to spine idea. Instead of putting all your weight into your right hand, it's fine to have it down, but don't put all of it in there. Good job, guys. Last two, little squeeze up. And then last one, squeeze up and stay. Now scissor your legs, bottom leg forward, top leg back that little bit, way to cycle nice and slow, and then scissor them back the other way. Go forward, and then switch. You got it. Switch. And switch, slow and controlled. You've got 4 more. Keeping that left leg nice and lifted. It wants to drop down, right? 3, keep both knees pointing forward and switch. Last 2, keep reaching across the room and switch. And last 1, stop with your bottom leg forward. Ready? Last little bit, your legs are like 4 inches apart at the most. And then lower. Bottom leg is forward, top leg back. 1 inch up now and 1 inch down. Try and keep those left ribs a little bit lifted off the mat. Don't just jam into them. You've got 5. Little squeeze up and down. 4. Little squeeze, hold and down. 3 more. And down. Last 2. And down. Last 1. Little squeeze up, legs together, and then lower all the way down. Whew. Okay, come on to your back. Bring the soles of your feet together, let your knees fall open, let those inner thighs have a nice little stretch out. If that bugs your left hip or your bottom hip there, being on your side like that, you can fold your mat over or grab a towel or another mat. Doesn't matter. Take a nice couple of reps there. Just let those legs be nice and heavy for 1 more nice big breath. And then come over to your other side. So line your right side this time. Starting with your heels under your bum. Remember what we were saying here. So we are neutral. It's easier to feel neutral when you're on your back. You can feel that little space. Think about just keeping that same position as you come onto your side. Heels underneath your bum, hips stacked, shoulders stacked. Your gaze is just straight in front of you. Head is heavy on your right arm. And then lift that left leg. So keeping your feet together, lift your left up and then stay. So just feel that your pelvis is still neutral. Your core is going to work to keep your pelvis that way as you move your left leg, right? So now just lift up 1 more inch without letting your hips move. And then come down that same inch. So just work in that high pulse zone, 1 inch up and 1 inch down. So as you lift that leg or as you go up that extra little inch, think about your abs deepening a little bit. Feel how that works together again, like we said on the other side, right? Lifting, turning out, abs deepen and control. You could do this whole set and not use your core, right? But we want to get it working. So much more intense in the muscle we're focusing on, and then extra stability. Go 2 more. Down, and then go 1 more. Let's lift up and then stay. So you're going to get to this high point each time. You're going to bring your knee down, your foot up, medially rotate, and then laterally rotate. Get to that high point there, right? Medially rotate down like you're going up and over a big beach ball. Keep your pelvis as still as you can, down and back. Your waistlines are staying long and switch. So as much as it's left glute, you should also feel your core. In and out. You got it, guys. Go 4 more. In and out. Good. 3. Nice controlled movements, guys. Last 2. And out. Last 1. And out, and then straighten that leg right underneath you. So now reaching your left toes away from the top of your head. Nice long waistlines from there, rainbow. So toes down to the front edge of your mat, and then toes down to the back edge. So if you go too big, your hips are gonna move around, your whole body's gonna move. So just work in the zone where you can keep your body, your torso totally still. Think about that Barbie doll image, right? Her body stays still as her leg moves, or her legs move, right? That's what you're kind of working on. Or keeping your body still as this leg moves, right ribs stay lifted. Remember, the wider your rainbow is, the more of a core challenge it is. So don't think that huge is better or tall is better, really. But again, just work in the zone where you are able to keep your torso still. Doesn't matter how far up and down you go. Go one more forward. One, let's go back, and then pause in the middle. Stay there. Now go the opposite way. So upside down rainbows, up at the front edge, up at the back edge. And think about moving from your thigh. Imagine thigh lifting and thigh lifting. Forget about your knee and your foot. Thigh up and back. Squeeze up. And you're reaching the whole time, right? Always reaching. Toes are reaching away from the top of your head. And up, go 4 more. Up and 3. Up. Last 2. Slow down and up. Last 1. And up, and then bend that leg all the way in. Okay, grab your squishy ball. Ball is gonna go underneath your left leg. So remember, you can keep your left foot lifted a little bit if you want that extra bit of glute, also that extra bit of stability work, right? Your right toes are reaching away from the top of your head. You're still looking straight ahead, so you're nice. You have a nice long spine, and then just squeeze that right leg up and stay. So it's really important that your right knee is pointing the same way that you're looking. So don't let your knee kind of turn out. All right, now from there, squeeze up 1 more little inch, and then down an inch. As you go up those little inches, your right ribs definitely want to press down. You're not gonna let them. Just a little squeeze, pause, and down. Little squeeze, pause, and down. You've got it. Let's work in that upper range. Squeeze 4. Exhale, squeeze 3. Exhale, squeeze 2. And then 1 more squeeze up. Stay. Now circle that leg around. So stay nice and high if you can. Keep reaching. Feel that your right ribs are still lifting off the mat. Totally fine to bring your left foot down now to keep yourself a little steadier. Controlling your circles for 4. Controlling 3. 2. Last one, let's go the other way. Nice and controlled. Nice and controlled. Ribs stay tight around your center. You've got 4. You've got 3. 2. Last 1, and then lower all the way down. Grab your ball, pop it off to the side. Let's finish these babies off. Toes, legs both reaching away, toes reaching away from the top of your head. Hips are stacked. Shoulders are stacked. Your right ribs are a little bit lifted off the mat. Neck is long, top of your head reaching away from those toes. And then squeeze your legs together. You're gonna lift them just a couple of inches. It's not about height there. Really think length. Toes are reaching away. Now slowly just lower your legs to a hover. And then squeeze and lift them back up. You got it. So inhale as you come down. And then exhale as you lift. So remember, left leg now, dead heavy leg. A good way to kind of let the tension go in your left leg is to bend your knee just ever so slightly. Take all that weight into your right inner thigh, the top of your right inner thigh. Go 4 more, little squeeze up and control. Tons of left obliques as well. I'm sure you feel that. Low abs, keeping you steady. Last 2, just try not to grip with your right shoulder or your neck, right? It's easy to do that too. 1 more, go up, stay. Head is heavy, neck is nice and relaxed. Scissor your legs a few inches apart, bottom leg forward, top back, and then switch. Now your legs are dropping as we speak with gravity, right? Try to keep them lifting. Scissor, little lift, scissor, little lift, controlling the movement. Don't let your hips move with your legs. Yeah, very good, guys. Scissor, little lift. Got 2 more each way. Keep those right ribs off the mat. Last one. Scissor back, and then bring your bottom leg forward, top back. Stay, ready? Up 1 inch, pause, down 1 inch. Up 1 inch, pause, and down 1 inch. So always working. You're lifting, you're working, you're lowering, you're working. You're not lifting and then flopping, right? Lift and lower. Keep reaching for 4. Control. Keep reaching 3. Control. Keep reaching 2. Last one, up, legs together, and then lower all the way down. Good job. Okay, come onto your backs again. Let's bring the soles of your feet together again. Open those knees out. Just take a nice couple of breaths. One more nice big breath here, guys. And then bring your legs back together. Roll yourself up to seated. Sitting like that. So straight up and down. Let's actually do our ball twist today. So switch your puppy ball kind of underneath your tailbone. Have your weights handy. I'll give you an option for them. You definitely don't have to use them. So you're sitting up, top of your head reaches away from your tailbone. Remember, when you do a scoop back, make sure your legs are like comfortable distance in front of you, hip distance apart. And then when you do a scoop back, don't just like collapse back this way. Don't come into you want to be in just a little, it's a little scoop just for your lumbar spine. So your hips right now, your hip bones are facing me, right? When you roll back, bring your hip bones to face the ceiling. So you're really scooping through those low abs. Then your ribs come back just slightly. And your shoulders come back slightly as well. Hard, right? Stay there. Okay, now from here, you can bring your arms up towards the ceiling. They don't need to go all the way. And then slowly bring them down. So when your arms go up, does your weight drop onto your ball? Not what we want to do. We want to stay a little bit light on the ball, right? Even if it means you're not lifting your arms the full way, it doesn't matter. So exhale, abs deepen, inhale down. Go 2 more like this. And down, and 1 more, let's go. Come down, stay. Now you're gonna bring your right leg up, right arm, and then come back down. Left leg, left arm. Now try to stay as steady as you can as you switch legs. So you're not rocking on the ball, or that it looks up and down. Go 2 more each way. And down and left. And down. Go 1 more right. Abs deep and ribs stay tight around your center. And 1 more up. And down, and then come all the way back to seated nice and tall. Okay, so keep these weights too long. You don't have to. It will make it exponentially harder. So just whatever you try, if you want to drop them, no judgment. Okay. Want to do it? Anyone want to do it? Okay, you don't have to. Exhale, scoop back. Belly button is fine. Roll and stay. So remember, hips back, ribs back out a little bit, shoulders back out a little bit, collarbones nice and wide. So now you're going to open your right arm out to the side. You're going to add a little rotation. So reach back. Reach your right fingertips away from your left hand. Feel that nice openness across your chest. And then bring that right arm back through center. Same thing left. So left arm opens. Then add the rotation. So left fingertips reach from right, little breath. And then back through center. So the hardest point is here, right? So don't just come there, then come back in. That'll hold there. There you go. Then go left, open out. Have a little pause, reach, very good, you guys. Back through center. Right again. All the way back in, and then go one more left. All the way back through center, and then come back to seated nice and tall. Okay, now we're going to add the legs with the arms, with weights or without, doesn't matter. We're going to scoop back again, come into the sit, the ribs stay tight around your center. Now we're going to lift our right leg up. You can use your weights if you want, doesn't matter. We're going to reach our right arm out to the side and add your right leg. So you can reach really big fingertips, right fingertips reaching from right toes, and then come back in. Same side again, so you're going to reach, keep your weight even on your hips as you extend. And in, go 3 more. Reach fingertips and fingertips, you got it. Last 2. Really reach, even weight on those hips. You ready? 1 more. All the way in, pop your right foot down. Come up to seated tall, and then let's do 1 more. We're gonna finish on our left here. So scooping back, shoulders away from your ears, left leg up. You're gonna reach your left arm wide. You can reach it out with your leg and then come back in. As you open that left arm, reach that left leg up, deepen, keeping your weight as even as you can on your hips, so don't let your right hip lift off the ball. Get good. 3 more. Good job, you guys. Last 2. And in, last one, reach. Back in, lower your left, come all the way back to seated, nice and tall. Pop that up to the side. Come up to a 4-point kneel now. So hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. So you're just in neutral here again. So remember, think about that little space behind your low back the same way. When you were here, you have that, your ribs were tight around your center when you were on your side. Same position right here, right? So holding that little bit of a neutral is going to be really important. You don't want your back to arch as you move. So hands right under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Kick your right leg straight up, so your right toes reach away from the top of your head. Keep them on the mat. So before we lift our leg, think about this left side. Left side is going to be most important. So we want to keep our left knee pressing down into the mat. That activates the posterior chain of our body, which is going to help to keep us steady. Keep that pressure. Now lift your right leg. So extra bit of pressure through that left knee. Right toes are reaching away from the top of your head. Can you reach your left arm out in front as well? Now from there, just tap down. As you lift, press through that left knee that little bit. So inhaling down and exhale as you lift. So as you're moving, think about that left knee. Extra little bit of pressure through that left knee. Keep that extra bit of hug around your rib cage so your back doesn't arch. Very good. And the top of your head is reaching from your toes. Go 2 more. You're ready. 1 more. You're going to lift up and stay. Left fingertips reach from right toes open to the side just a couple of inches. And then pull back in. Extra pressure through your left knee again. Open out that little bit. And in. Over 4. Nice long necks. 3, out. And in. Last 2. Out. And in. Last 1. Out. And in. Hand down. Knee down. Sit back to a little shell stretch. Give those wrists a little shake. The shoulders a little roll out. You're ready? We're gonna come up again. So same thing, we're gonna switch over to the other side. So where our left knee was the real focus on that side, our right knee is gonna be the focus here. So hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, find that neutral again so your back is nice and long. Tailbone, or your spine is nice and long, straight, tailbone kind of lifting up towards the ceiling. And then let's press through our right knee a little bit as you send your left leg straight out. So hold when it's out there, your left hip is gonna want to lift, right? Don't let it. Your weight is gonna want to shift to the right, don't let it. So press down into your right knee, then lift your left. Hold there, extend that right arm if you want, and then let's just start with those taps. So just tapping straight down as you lift, press into your right knee. Tap and lift. So more than anything, more than how high your arm and your leg go, more than how fast you're going, how many you do, you're thinking about pressing through your right knee. Go for 4, 3, press as you lift. Last 2. You've got that belly button's pulling into your spine, your ribs stay tight around your center. Last one, let's lift and stay. Now open out just a couple of inches. And then back in. As you open out, press into your right knee so your weight doesn't shift across. Exhale. Very good, guys. And slow. Go 4. Feel that right inner thigh kind of squeezing towards your midline. Last 2. Last 1. And then come right in with that hand, right in with that knee, and then sit back to a shell stretch again. Nice little shape. Guys. But one more we're going to do on each side here. So on back, hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. We're going to come down to our left elbow this time. So drop your left elbow and your left shoulder slightly, your left hand, sorry, can reach towards your right. Don't like be all like crunched in here. Still think of being neutral across your shoulders, even though you're kind of on that angle. Okay, so now left knee, again, is the focus on this side. So left knee is gonna press down into the mat. You're neutral, so you're not here, you're not here, you're just neutral. Kick your right leg straight out again. And then lift it up. So because you're on this angle, your leg can go a little bit higher. Think about your nose kind of pointing down towards your left wrist. So your neck stays long, right leg is nice and lifted. Now from here, you're gonna bend your right, actually let's laterally rotate our right leg. Then bend it in towards your right underarm or your right elbow. And then kick it all the way back out. So it's really easy to shift your weight to the left when you do this, like this. We don't wanna do that because we're pressing through our left knee. So we're gonna stay straight up and down, right? Stay straight up and down on our left knee is the focus. Opening that right knee to the right side makes it way harder. So as much as we're working our right glute, we're also really working our left obliques and left glute if we're staying straight on that left side. Too much to think about. I know. Go 3 more in. And reach. You got it. Good job, guys. 2. Keep pressure through that left knee and press. Last one in. Press all the way out. Can you stay out there? Keep looking towards your left wrist so your neck is long. Lift up 1 inch and down 1 inch. As you lift up that inch, give that extra little press into your left knee. Go 6 little squeezes. Stay nice and high. 5 little squeeze. 4. Last 3. Squeeze. Last 2. You got it, guys. Last one, squeeze up. Bend that leg in. Sit back again. Oh my God. Okay. Just making sure. You're going from freezing here. Come on. What happened in the last 2 weeks since we've been doing Pilates here? Okay. So hands under your shoulders again, knees underneath your hips. Right? So we're gonna bring our right elbow down, reach it across towards your left. Remember, don't just like drop into your shoulders. Keep pressed away with that right elbow. Look towards your right wrist this time so your neck is staying long. Then press through your right knee as you kick your left leg out on the mat. You'll lift it up. It can go a little bit higher than hip height because you're on this nice angle. So laterally rotate your legs slightly. Bring that left knee in towards your left elbow and then kick back out. So it doesn't matter how far in it comes. Remember, the focus is your right side. Bend that lefty in. As you press out, press through that right knee. In with control, press into that right knee. Feel that right outer glute. In, nice and high. 4 more. In, next are nice and long. Abs deep and kick right out. 3, taking your time. Last 2. You ready? 1 more here. In, kick all the way out. Stay when you're at the top there. Lift up 1 more inch. 1 more inch. Go for 6 more. Press into your right knee. 5. Squeeze. 4. Press through that right knee. 3, 2. Last 1. Squeeze up and then bend that leg in. Sit back again to a shell stretch. Center there for a couple of breaths. Weight right back to your heels, and then walk your hands over to the left side of your mat. So really reaching through your right fingertips. Think of your right hip staying heavy. Your right glute and staying heavy on your right heel. And then back. Center all the way. The other side of the mat, really reaching through your left fingertips. Think of your left hip staying heavy here. One more breath there. And then hands back under your shoulders. Come on, back up to a 4-point kneel. Step your right foot back, like you would a plank, and then step your left foot back. And then just press yourself all the way back to an up stretch, your downward dog. Holding with your back there, so feel your tail kind of lifting up towards the ceiling, your heels press down. Walk your feet out so you can switch right to left. And drop both heels nice and low, really feel that tail lifting up. And throw it nice and high. And then lift them both nice and high. You're gonna shift your weight back into those hands. Step your right foot up between those hands. Come down, so you can drop your knee. Give your left hip flexor a little stretch out there. So just take a couple of breaths here. Left knee, left toes kind of reaching back as the weight comes forward. And then pop your left hand down. Reach your right arm up to the ceiling. Look up to those fingertips. Thinking length through your spine here, so you're not just collapsing in. Really feel the top of your head reaching away from your left toes and your tailbone. And then pop your right hand back down. You can drop your right knee out to the side for a little hip stretch. Come down as far as that feels good. And walk those hands back under your shoulders. Curl your left toes under. Step your right toes back. So you're back in that little plank. Step your left foot forward. Knee up, knee down, whatever feels good for that little hip flexor. Kind of think of your left knee being on top of your left heel. Pressure on that knee. And then you can step your right hand down and reach your left arm up to the ceiling. And then step your left hand down left leg out. One more big breath there. And then walk those hands back under your shoulders, curl those right toes back under, left foot back, and then just press back to that up stretch again or downward dog. Drop those heels and then walk your hands into your feet. Hang in that forward fold, just keep those shoulders a little roll up, let your neck have a little shake out, and then you can roll yourself up. Excellent job. Feel good?